Hi all, welcome back. This is Fields of Fire. This is just the original Fields of Fire, not the deluxe version, which I was hoping to kick off with, but I just can't wait. We want to play this game again for ages. Haven't done a video playthrough of it. Always thought it was something I would do one day, and just was starting to read the rules and see what's coming. The rules just look so much better. A lot of examples. Yeah. It would have been better to wait. I know, but I just can't. I just like to get played through. And I might make a mess of this anyway, and whether I'll sort of scrap the video. Well, I won't scrap the videos. I suppose I'll leave them out there, but maybe adjust the naming of them, because I think I'd like to do this more seriously in the future, and this is maybe just to get me back into it as well, because I'm just pressing record there. I was getting a bit anxious and thinking, right, you sure you know what you're doing here, Grant? It's a quite complex game, and I played it before and whatever. Anyway, this is, sorry, I should have started that off. Well, it's a Normandy campaign I'm going to play. This is mission 1 of the Normandy campaign, and it's titled Trevieres Offensive. Yeah, I'm sure that S at the end is silent, Grant. Sounds like a French kind of thing. Trevieres Offensive. So that's what we're going to do, and there's probably multiple playthroughs out there of this. Well, it's just, it's fine. If you don't want to watch it again, that's fine. I will be trying my best to play it completely error-free. Yeah, I know. These games can be tough with that. Especially when you're trying to use 3rd edition rules. I'm not really want to look at the rule book. I did consider there. In fact, should we have a glance at it? I thought, does the rule book that I've got, the PDF for, have the sequence of play on it? And I was kind of panicking that I might have to use my rule book, because it's on the very back page. However, it's on the back page of the rule book, so should it be on the back page of the PDF rule book? Yeah, it should, and it is there. Just glancing briefly at it, I'll tell you what, there's maybe not an awful lot I can see. Well, actually, you know what? There is some changes to the wording and whatever, and that's the thing. They've completely went through this rule book. The guys that were involved, amazing job. I'm hoping once it comes out, it's going to be shown that, because this is just an amazing game that just needed this. It needed it. It's the one game out there that really needed this, and obviously the guys involved that done it realised that too. I think most of the people involved in it are probably, they played the game and loved it as well, and decided that something needed to be done to bring it up to the standard that it should be at. So anyway, okay. So yeah, I'm a bit anxious about starting this off and finding out where we go and whatever. So I've got my tablet open at the side of me, and I don't know how the light is. Right, okay, off to a great start. Yeah, same again, pressing the button, trying to adjust the camera, maybe zoom in, and pressing the stop button, and it's driving me nuts, this. Well, if it's driving you nuts, Grant, try and do something about it. Try and move things about, or try and find a different app that works better. That's what you need to do, because it's just causing you so many headaches. Yeah, so I've been through explaining all this, and now I've got to do it again, because obviously the camera was paused at the time. I don't know where I finished off. It just cut off. I think when I go to zoom in, if I click the button. Anyway, let's not dwell on it. Okay, so this is the sequence of play. So, let's just move on through it. I zoomed in there a little bit, and I'm looking across to see if I'm still recording, because the zoom bit is right beside the button that pauses and stops the recording. I mean, that's not a very clever design. Or I mean, I've got big clunky fingers as well, which doesn't help. Right, well, let's go. I'll need to just keep an eye on it every so often, make sure I'm still recording. Right, so 3.1, Friendly Higher HQ event phase. Starts on turn 2. Right, let's not bother about it then until turn 2. This is turn 1. 3.2, Defensive Missions, Enemy Activity phase. This is not a defensive mission, it's an offensive mission. So we skip 3.2. 3.3 is the Friendly Command phase. So during the segments of this phase, for a unit or HQ to receive a command, it must be in the chain of command of the HQ or leader issuing the command and in communication with it. So if I need to go back and look at that, it needs to follow the chain of command, also needs to be in communication. Might need to brush up on that a little bit. That's pretty straightforward. And yeah, I think I've got that. I think I've got it, but we'll see. I might well make mistakes. It is possible. Although this is what I try and avoid, and this is the whole point of this, anyway, right, moving on. 3.3.1 activation segment. 3.3.1a, the Battalion HQ impulse. If the Battalion HQ is not on the map, activate the COHQ. Well, the Battalion HQ is not on the map. He only comes on the map. Well, I'm saying that. I've not moved on to the missions. It could well be that it might start somewhere on the map in certain missions, possibly. The only time that this is applied to me is through an event. This is an event that brings the Battalion HQ onto the map. And then once you reach this segment in the sequence of play, then you do the other. You do bullet 2 there. If the Battalion HQ is on the map, you do that. But we'll get to that if it happens. So if the Battalion HQ is not on the map, activate the COHQ. Okay. Right, let's see if we can deal with that. That is a ghastly colour, isn't it? I should see if I can print out a better. I get the feeling that maybe it should be green. This colour, and my printer's been lacking in probably blue or something. Or is it, cyan it would be? So it's like, yeah, it's a bit of a mess, really. It's not very pleasant to look at. Anyway, we're going to activate the COHQ. So that's that one there. So what I'm thinking is we should move them up there. Now I've got them showing activations completed. Maybe I should flip them to the other side. Probably shouldn't I? Commands available. Well, that's showing that he's activated, right? So we've activated them. And I was just jumping up there to look at that because I need to work this. I could probably skip that step, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah, like I say, I could probably skip that step because moving down, where are we again? Yeah, if the Battalion HQ is not on the map, activate the COHQ. So we've activated the COHQ. So 3.3.1b COHQ impulse. If activated by the Battalion HQ, draw an action card. Is that the right one? Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, because the Battalion HQ is activating it. Right, okay, sorry. So if activated by the Battalion HQ, draw an action card and give it the modified number of activated commands. Okay. Okay, I realised a slight flaw with my plan. And the fact that if I'm wanting to read this off the tablet and want to go and look at another rule, I'm going to have to scroll through the tablet. So I printed this page out, which kind of makes more sense. Probably quite good to laminate this too. You can, if you just go through this carefully, to be honest, if you follow this carefully, it's this is it. This is what happens. Okay, there's more to it than that. You don't get a 100-page rule book without it being a bit more complex than one page. Clearly. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, that's where we were. That's where we're talking. 3.3 4.1b. I'm just looking again, just in case I click the wrong button. If activated by the battalion HQ, draw an action card and give it the modified number of activated commands. Okay, so what it says in the rules here is, this is in Rule 4, Command and Control. So we're 4.1, Commands. We're on the BNHQ impulse. It says if the BNHQ is off map and the COHQ is in communication via a BN TAC radio or phone. So, well, actually we need to go up at his assets. So the COHQ is here in the staging area. And I thought you said you weren't going to talk about all the ins and outs of this guy. So he's got the BN TAC radio and he's got a CO TAC radio. That's a company one, that's a battalion one. I think that's how it works. Probably, but going by the letters, I think that's right. So he's connected to the battalion TAC network, and he's in the staging area. So that means he's in communication. So it'll automatically activate the COHQ, flip the COHQ command counter to its commands available side, and then we're going to draw a card. Yeah, we're on to the COHQ impulse as well. Right, okay, I'm not going to show you everything on the tablet. If I had the rule book here, I might. But, yeah. I think we kind of know how it works. Right, did I bump things about there? Probably. Right, give me a sec. Okay, I was just trying to just remind myself of how this works. So he has a battalion network and a company network. So whenever he's in control of that battalion network, so the battalion HQ can always communicate with him. He's the only one that can have this, the COHQ. So that's how he can now be commanded by the battalion HQ. Right, find the right bit, Grant. Yeah, so the COHQ is in communication via a battalion TAC radio. It will automatically activate the COHQ. Flip the COHQ command, its counter commands available. Okay, and then we move on to COHQ impulse. Use the following procedure. If the COHQ was activated in the battalion HQ impulse, can I show this rather than reading it out? Maybe. Yeah, no, I did say I wasn't going to bother with all this, and we're getting glare from above as well, so it's not the best. I'm not going to go through this every time, but COHQ was activated in the battalion HQ impulse. Draw an action card. Number in the helmet icon is the number of available commands. This number may be modified by conditions listed in 4.1.2, but a minimum of one command is always given. Mark these on the command display with the COHQ command counter. Okay? And then just jumping forward to 4.1.2, when drawing for commands, whether in the activation segment or the initiative segment, but never in the CO staff initiative impulse or general initiative impulses, modify the number on the action card as follows. So if the HQ or staff is pinned, it's -1, green -1, veteran +1, under a cover marker, basic fortifications or building +1. And then B, if the HQ or staff are under a VOF, small arms VOF -1, automatic VOF -2, heavy weapons, sniper, etc. -3. And then C, the current activity level is no contact +1. The note there is that HQ's in a card targeted by a sniper, which is the asterisk here. HQ's on a card targeted by a sniper will suffer the command draw penalty regardless of the sniper's actual target unit in the previous turn. Okay, yeah, well, you'll see how that works. I'm sure a sniper will appear at some point. Right, so we're going to draw cards, look at the helmet number. We're going to check. Now, we know... Where did I put that bit of paper? That our COHQ is green. Right, you need to zoom out for all that nonsense, Grant. yeah, our COHQ is green, okay? So we're going to get a -1 to that to start with. None of the rest apply. He's not undercover or anything like that. He's not pinned. He's not in a VOF, so that's fine. However, the current activity level is no contact, so you're getting a -1 and a +1, so it balances out to 0, right? So we're going to draw a card and then look at the helmet and see what we get. So it's a 3, right? The number underneath comes into it, and for, I think it's just general initiative. No, that's a lie. It's not just general initiative. If the COHQ was not in communication with Battalion HQ, there's a different impulse that he would look at. And he would get that number instead. Again, modified by, but he's green -1 was no contact +1, so we are getting 3 commands for the, and this card just gets discarded. There's lots of information on the cards. Yeah, I know. Well, I'll just go through them in a cut. I'm not going to start going through everything. Like I said, I'm probably, I'll go through it when I do it. That card gets used for that, because that's what we're doing, and it gets discarded, and that's it. So the COHQ has 3 commands. So we activated them, so let's bring them down now, and this is the COHQ panel that's built into this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, he's got 3 commands. There you go, that's commands available. Now you can spend 1, 2 or 3 of them, or you can save 1, 2 or 3 of them. There is limits to the amount you can save. Like I say, I'll look at that when it comes to it. That's what these are referring to. How many you can get allocated. Like in a day mission, you can only get 6 maximum allocated. In the mission we're on, this is limited visibility. You can only get a maximum of 4. This one you can only get a maximum of 6. And saving wise, we're not veteran. That's for a line. Well, we're green, aren't we? Green through the day, so we can only save a maximum of 3 then. That's what that is, I think. Yep. Okay, so we've got three commands. Right, so moving back to the sequence of play then. So we activated the COHQ impulse. If activated by BNHQ, draw an action card and give it a modified number of activated commands. Right, we've got 3 commands. Save those commands or expend them, and any saved commands, like from the previous turn, obviously, or previous turns, on units up to the maximum per day and per experience level, which I was just talking about there. So we're going to use the 3 commands to activate probably our 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 commands, we've got 3 platoons, so there's probably what's going to happen. Okay, so yeah, just looking back at this COHQ impulse. So we're drawing a card. We've got 3. So we subject to limitations. COHQ commands are now spent on orders to itself or any friendly subordinate units in play and in communication. Right, remember, without moving the camera there, all the platoon HQs are in communication with COHQ. The first sergeant, I lie. The COXO is in communication. The first sergeant is not, actually. So have I blundered that? No. He's not got a radio. That's fine. We'll get around to that anyway. All the platoon HQs have got a radio, so they're in communication. Now there needs to be line of sight. The radios back then in the day need to have line of sight, so we'll get to that. But adjacent cards are always in line of sight, and then you've got different. If you're undercover, that comes in it as well. The radios weren't that good if you were undercover, and not undercover, then you couldn't get radio communication back then. So anyway, we'll get to that stuff. Are now subject to limitation. Commands are now spent on orders to itself or any friendly subordinate units in play, and in communication, including activating platoon HQs and CO staff, or they may be saved. Flip the command marker of any HQ activated by the CO HQ with an activate action to its command's available side. After you have finished spending the CO HQ's commands, flip its command counter to its activation completed side. Okay. Right, so I'm not 100% sure if this all works right or not, but we're just going to do this. I've got to get back into the game somehow, so I've got to learn. But I think I want to activate all my platoons. I mean, I could activate the XO or well, actually, I don't think I can activate the first sergeant because he's on the other card, so I can't verbally communicate with him, and he's not got a radio. But we don't want them to do stuff anyway. We want our platoons to do things. That's what we want to give them orders to. So I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3. I'm going to spend all my actions, and that's going to go over to that side, and I'm going to be completed activation HQs right up there. That's going to be up there. Activation completed, and I'm going to activate first platoon. Well, actually, no. Activated HQs. I can put that up here. It's just my tablet's on the bit at the bottom, so I'm going to have to move it. So we're going to activate the first platoon, activate the second platoon, and activate the third platoon. Right? So that's us used the 3 commands to activate all the platoons. And I'm just want to see the order in which I'm meant to do this. If there's an order in which I'm meant to do it or not, I'm not sure. Let's just see if we can follow it here. I think this is the bit that I had certain issues with in the past. So use the following procedure. This is a platoon HQ / CO staff impulse. Select an activated platoon HQ or CO staff. Right, remember, we've not activated the CO staff. We've activated 3 different platoon HQs. So we're activating them and draw an action card. So we can select one of them and draw an action card. The number in the helmet icon is the number of commands available. Available commands for the CHQ. This number may be modified by conditions of 4.12, so it's the same thing again, but a minimum of 1 command is always given. Mark this on the command display with a command counter for the activated HQ or staff. Subject to limitations, activated platoon HQ may now expend commands on orders to itself or friendly subordinate units in play and in communication, or they may be saved. After you have finished spending commands from the selected platoon HQ, flip its command counter to its activation completed side, select the next activated HQ, and repeat the process. Okay, so the procedure is you do one at a time. I can pick which one I do. I can do second platoon HQ first, then we go through the procedure, we draw a card, so do we go through all the activation of him first before we then come back? Yeah, I think we do, don't we? Yeah, so let's just say, yeah, okay. Let's do this, okay. Right, okay, let's get started. So we've got 3 platoon HQs, and we are in the platoon HQ / CO staff impulse. I'm going to select yeah, it's fine. Yeah. So I'm going to activate first platoon. So, well, sorry, it's already activated. I'm going to activate it and draw a card, see how many commands it gets. Now, first platoon HQ is green as well. So rather than go back and look at things, he's green, but we're still at no contact. So there's a -1 for the green, +1 for the no contact. I'm going to draw a card, and we're going to look at the helmet. This is for our first platoon. He gets the 3, okay? So he gets 3 commands. So fortunately, I'm going to have to move things about now. So 3 commands has been allocated to first platoon. So we're way down here. Right, I'm going to have to shimmy things about a little. Right, okay, so he's got 3 commands. So now he can now give orders to himself or any friendly subordinate units in play, and in communication, or they may be saved. And then after we've finished spending commands from the selected platoon HQ, we flip its command counter to its activation completed, and then we select the next HQ. So we can select then platoon HQ 2 or 3. And then we cycle through that process until we've done away with all them, and then we move on to the next step, which we'll get to. Okay, so we've got a platoon activated. We've got first platoon HQ activated, and it's got 3 commands. I think I pretty much say in all my videos, right? I'm not going to actually go through every rule and try and teach the game and whatever, and then I explain every detail, don't I? Which is a bit daft, but yeah. To be honest, I'm refreshing the things for myself here as well, so I know I've got some idea of what I want to do. I remember what I want to do is break a squad down into a assault team, innit, and then move them forward, and that's kind of what you want to do. So I'm going to have to look now and find out all the commands that we can do. They're not much further on though, so just let me... Alright, yeah, I'm going to have to avoid going back and looking at things and whatever. I'm just going to have to read stuff out, or we're going to be here forever, aren't we? So it's a command and control action, this, isn't it? That you want to do. Isn't it? Or is it? No, maybe it's not. It's not a rally action. It's not a combat action. It's not a move action. It must be. I want to split. I want to create a... Right, give me a second. Yeah, okay, I was struggling to find that. It is a rally action, because what I want to do is detach team. So that's G, so 4.2.3 G. Detach team. It costs me 1 command. Yeah, I feel the urge to go back and look at this. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do this more than once. If we look at something new, fair enough. So I'm going to detach team. That's how many commands it costs. That's how successful it's going to be, because a lot of the time you need to draw cards to see if you succeed. This is an automatic success. That is the originator, right? Originator is any HQ or staff, and the next one is the recipient. So who were given the order to. That's who's given the order. That's who we're given the order to. Any good order, 3 to 4 step squad or 2 step weapons team. And this is the details. And it says, reduce the squad or weapon. Have I got that? No, I've not. There it's there. Sorry, I'm scrolled too far. Reduce the squad or weapons team by a step and place either an assault or a fire team into play on the card. Transfer any assets to the detached team as desired. 2-step squads may not split into 2 teams with this action. Okay. So I know we want to do... It could be an assault team or a fire team. And there's an assault team. And, right, the A is automatic weapons. And the P is point blank range. Point blank range is just attack within the card. You've got 4 different ranges: point blank, short, long, and very long. Point blank is same card, short is adjacent card, long is 2 cards, very long is 3 cards. That's as far as you can go. A automatic fire, there's 3 different types of well yeah, I suppose there is. There's oh god, I forgot them. It's S, isn't it? No, it's not. Is it S? Right, I'm forgetting the... Well, I'll have it on these. Yeah, S. I'm trying to think what it stands for. Small arms. Yeah, small arms. So small arms fire gives. Here we go. We're explaining the whole game to you here. If I can find some VOFs. There we go. It's automatic. We're looking for heavy weapons, I think. There we go. Right, so we've got just showing up here. So anything with an S on it gives small arms, and that's the volume of fire. Anything with an automatic weapons, you would get that, which is a -1. And when you're hitting things, sorry, let me finish off there. And anything with heavy weapons gives a -3. There are your three sort of basics. I mean, you could consider all pinned coming into it. Is that on the back of that? Yeah, all pinned will come into it a lot as well. So, in the fire that you want to do, you want to, if you're shooting at somebody, you want the lowest number. You want a minus something. If you're getting shot at, you'd rather have a plus something being shot at you. So, I mean, you go from all pin +2, I suppose. But, I mean, they're the three basics. So, you can see that the squad fires with an S, small arms. This light machine gun fires with A, automatic. That would give a -1. And the only one we've got, I've got the mortar as well. There's an H, and the mortar, they give the heavy weapons a -3. So obviously they're the ones you want to get involved. So this assault team gives an automatic weapon, so it's pretty good, but it can only fire within the card that you're on. So, okay. And the other option is breaking a squad down into a fire team, which gives small arms but close range. So if it was on here, it's only got small arms but it can fire to adjacent cards, whereas the assault team has got automatic weapons but can only fire within the card. So there's a good and a bad to that, both. However, the big one there is, if we want to move an assault team or a fire team, I think that's why it has to be an assault team. Hang on a second. Yeah, okay, I knew there was a reason. So, if we want to move, and what we're trying to do here is breaking down a squad a little bit to move something to scout ahead. That's what we're trying to do, okay? So, you're making this far more long-winded than needs to be, Grant. But I've just got to be honest. I'm brushing myself up. That with the rules. That's my excuse here. So I want to then move to an adjacent card, right? So it says the recipient has to be any good order unit, and it's got a wee subscribe 1 there, not marked as exposed. So if we go down to that wee 1 there, it says applies to LAT in certain cases, 4.2.5. And if we jump down to 4.2.5, we get pinned and LAT limitations. LAT stands for Limited Action Team, is it? Something like that. I think that's right. Does it not tell us here or not? So it says units that are not pinned and not LAT units are considered to be in good order. So an assault team and a fire team are not good order. They are actually classed as a LAT. So they follow some different rules and whatever. So it tells you here what they can do. So there's an assault team. And it says the movement actions allowed are move to an adjacent card. I'm not going to look at the rest of them, but it says that an assault team can move to an adjacent card. And let's just look at a fire team. It says about a fire team. And the other thing there, you'll notice that an assault team is line, experience level's line, and fire team is experience level is only green, so that's relevant too. Movement actions allowed for a fire team, however, are moved to an adjacent card, but only if that card is a staging area or is friendly occupied with no volume of fire on it. So bringing us back to here, and what my intention is to break one of these squads down to create an assault team to move it forward into the cemetery here, or it could move into the hedgerow bocage here or the hedgerow bocage here, but Probably makes sense there. Now, if I broke it to a fire team, I wouldn't be allowed to do that because it's not friendly occupied, it's not staging area. It needs to be friendly occupied with no volume of fire on it. So that's what my plan is to be, right? So first platoon HQ, he is there. Now he's got a radio, but not all his squads have got radios. He's beside them all, right? He's in verbal communication with them, visual, verbal. He can give them hand signs, or he can just say to them, "Look, go and do this." They're all on the same card. They're not undercover. They're all on the same bit, whatever. So he's going to use one of his commands, right? And I'm not going to jump back to the command display here. I'm going to move his 3 commands down to 2 because it costs 1 command. And what he's going to do is 1 platoon is going to, but it was 3 steps. It's going to break down to 2 steps, right? And it's going to break off an assault team. So we get to create an assault team. And that was that, what was it? 4.2.3 rally action G, which is detach a team. So he's detaching that team to an assault team. Okay? So he's now going to use another command to give the assault team an order to move forward, right? And move to an adjacent card, right? I'm not going to jump back. Not now. So it costs 1 command. It's an auto activation. We don't need to draw cards for it. The originator needs to be any HQ or staff. The recipient needs to be any good order unit not marked as exposed. And the wee 1 subscript there means that a fire team could not move forward there because this isn't friendly occupied. Well, it doesn't say that. It says that certain LATs can do it. Certain limited action teams can do it. An assault team is one of the teams that can do it. So the details are: move the unit to an adjacent card and mark it as exposed. If there is a cover marker on that card, you may place the unit under the cover marker. Do not mark a unit as exposed if it moves from under a trench, bunker, or pillbox cover marker on the first card to under one of those cover markers on the second card, or moves between attached buildings on an urban terrain card. Right, all of that stuff is not going to happen in this mission at all, I don't think. So we're going to we're going to use our second command to command this assault team. And remember, he's in communication with us. They're still on the same card, visual, verbal communication. So he's going to move him forward like that. Now, he's also going to be marked exposed. And exposed means that he's going to get a -2 to himself. So if anybody was to fire at him or attack him, he would have a -2. And minuses are bad when you're on the wrong side of it. Like, if the Germans are -2s, that's great. If we are -2, we want pluses. We want them to have minuses, right? So that's the assault team moved into the cemetery and has become exposed. Now we've got 1 command left, and however, we now are not in visual verbal communication with this guy, right? Because he's now on 1 card ahead. Now, if he had a radio, we would be in line of sight with him and we could communicate with him and tell him to do something else. But we don't have that. He doesn't have a radio. He's now out of the range where we can sort of signal or shout at him and tell him to do something. So he cannot be commanded by the COHQ anymore. He does have another option, which we'll come to later in the sequence of play. So the first platoon HQ still has 1 command available. So he could break off another assault team, something to think about. But I think because we've got 3 platoon HQs, each one of them could do this, and it's quite possible you would do that yourself. It's probably quite a common start to do exactly the same with 2 HQ, because we've got to clear these cards. We've got to clear them enemies. However, so the fact that they too can do it as well, then what we're going to do is we're just going to save that last command. So I'm going to flip that over to that side and put it in there as a save command. And of course the COHQ, well, he didn't have save commands left, so that's saved, so we can use that next turn. We'll still get to draw a card, and I'll add to that as well. Okay, so now we go back and then we activate second platoon HQ. So, right, hang on, I'm moving it down too soon. We need to draw a card. Well, actually, it's our choice. We could do second or third. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Yeah, I seem to recall something in my mind is telling me that moving a 2-step squad forward is quite a good idea as well. I could have done that there with that last action, moved it forward into there. But I suppose what you might... I don't know. You know what? I can't remember how it all pans out. So, again, this is going to be like... You know, it's as one of these games, you need to try some things and then say, right, it's better if I do this and I do that. I've just forgot about it all. So let's activate third platoon here. So, well, he's already activated. We need to draw a card. So again, he's green, so a -1. There's still no contact, +1. So it's just the number in the helmet. Again, it's a 3. So that's still pretty good. We take third platoon HQ and move him down to here. So he's got 3 commands available as well. So I guess we're probably going to do something similar. Yeah, I think so. So we're going to take 3 platoon. We're going to use one action to break that down. So I'll move him down to 2 and get myself another assault team. Okay. So I broke that down to 2 and got an assault team, and then I'm going to use the next action to move that assault team forward. Mark it as exposed. And I'm going to save the last command as well. Yeah, let's do that. So save the last command. So he's saved 1 command as well. So exactly the same. So now we're going to do second platoon. Again, he's green, no contact. We draw. It's another 3. Okay. What's the 3s? There are different numbers. So he comes down, gets the 3 as well. Second platoon. He's got 3 commands available. So are we going to... I'm not sure I want to occupy all 4 cards, but maybe I do. Yeah, let's just go with that. Let's just get in there and try it. So again, I'm going to use my first command to break that squad down. So I'll mark them down to 2. Get another assault team. Oh, that's a fire team on both sides. I know there's quite a few new counters you're getting with the deluxe version. I'm only getting the upgrade kit, but I mean, it's just going to be the same as buying. You know, I've got all the main components. It's just getting the upgrade stuff. So yeah, so we break that down in an assault team, and then we're going to use. Are we going to do that? Yeah, let's do it. So we're going to use our second command. We've got 1 left to move this assault team forward into there. Mark it exposed. And then we're going to use our third command. And I'll find out if this is too much or not. I'm going to use my third command to order... Yeah, now, hold on. Should I have done that the other way about, really? Well, not necessarily, because the second platoon HQ could go that way. I guess I was just looking at the cover, slightly better cover on the woods. But it's not, it's +2 base. The +1 is if you get attacked from that the white sides. And And then I suppose in the woods, if you get incoming fire, it's worse as well. We'll just, like I say, I'm just trying to get back into the game. So I'm going to order this time with my last command. I'm going to order the rest of second squad, the first platoon, into the woods here and mark exposed. So that's a whole squad, and you can do that. This is a good order unit. Remember, it's not a fire team. Any good order unit can move. It's only the fire teams that are other like litter teams and paralyzed teams. They can't do it either. The assault team's the one that can move. That's why you're initially breaking your units down in the assault teams. So that used all of second platoon's commands. So I'll put that up there. I should leave these. I'm just looking up here, trying to work out. Sorry, hang on. I noticed I had them all turned to that side, but I think I should put them like that, just as a reminder that I've not yet activated them this turn, because if I had them flipped over the other way, I might get confused. So that's been activated. These two down here have been activated, but they've got save commands, so that's why they're still down here. And these two have still to be activated. And that's a different impulse that will do that. Okay, so that is us finished with the platoon HQ. What's it called again? It's the platoon HQ / CO staff impulse. We didn't activate any CO staff, but we activated the 3 platoons. So we've done with that. And now stop grant. Okay, so now we move into the initiative segment. And it says there, note, look, platoon HQs do not need to be selected in number order. Right, so now we're in the initiative segment. In this segment, HQs receive a small number of initiative command points and use them in the same way as in the activation segment. The minimum number of commands for unit drawing initiative commands after modifiers is 0. So you need to watch for this one. So if our COHQ had not been activated in the activation segment, we would draw a card here and use the smaller number modified, right? I'm not going to read through all that. And the same for the platoon HQs. If they had not been activated, they've all been activated though, then we would use a smaller number modified, and it could end up being a 0 and you get no commands. So then we move on to the CO staff. Now, we did not activate our XO and our first sergeant, and they are our CO staff. So if not activated in the activation segment, use the following procedure. Flip the command markers of any CO staff that were not activated in the activation segment to the commands available side. Well, I've got them like that now because it's the sort of track I'm using. It's better showing them that way. Select a CO staff which was not activated in the activation segment and give it 1 command. This number is not modified. Mark the point in command display with the command counter for the CO staff. Then, subject to the limitations, may expend orders on itself and any friendly. After you've finished spending commands from the selected CO staff, flip its command counter to its activation complete side, selecting the next CO staff and repeat the process. Right, I'm going to keep this pretty simple, and I think this is something that probably commonly done. So we're going to select the XO. He gets 1 command, and we don't really need to do, and there's nothing special we can do with him. I don't know, maybe there is clever things that you can do. So we're just going to save that command, and then we're going to select the first sergeant. He gets 1 command, and we're going to save that command as well. So this is, it's coming back to me, this seems like a normal. I'm not sure about the whole squad moving forward or not. I'm not sure. I might have done it one of the first times I played it, but I get the feeling moving on to 4 different cards in the very first turn is probably not what I should be doing. So we'll see in a minute how that pans out. Okay. Right, so moving on now, past the CO staff impulse, we now have the general initiative impulse. So this is a number we kind of would like to be high. So in this impulse, a few additional command points are made available for the company to spend on orders to any units in play, including those which were activated in the activation segment. Use the following procedure. Draw an action card. The number in the star icon, which is the... why is it saying a star icon? Is that a new thing? I suppose it is a star, isn't it? Yeah, it's a sort of American star. It's just in the background. Anyway, it's a smaller number, which is, yeah. So the number in the star icon is the number of available general initiative commands. If the mission involves only a single platoon, such as a combat patrol, half this number rounding down any fractions. No other modifiers affect this draw. So we're not playing a combat patrol, so we're not going to half the number. And you'll notice no other modifiers affect the draw. However, that does mean that it could be a 0, because sometimes there is a 0 there. Expend the commands on orders to any units in play. Besides the exceptions listed in 4.1.3, you do not need an HQ or staff unit to issue these commands. Being in communication with an HQ is also not required. General initiative commands cannot be saved. Okay, so this is kind of a big one, this. And it did say there that there is commands that only the HQs can sort of carry out, but we're not going to need this. What we're really looking to do, well... Is there a 4? I think you can get a 4 in the small initiative. If it's 6, I think it's 6 on the hat and the helmet one and a 4. What we'd like to do is get these guys under cover, you know. So the bigger the number, the better. And it's the smaller number we're looking for in the cards. So, and it doesn't get modified. So here we go. Right, okay, so it's a 2, right? So, not the best, not the worst. Okay, so we've got to choose between the 4 units we move forward, which ones we feel we'd like to get under cover, or attempt to get under cover. Right, searching for cover. These numbers in the corners are... I thought you were just going to play the game, Grant. You know, we know how to play it. That's what you're all shouting then. We know how to play it, just play it. Okay. It'll get smoother, I guess. The numbers in the corner are the amount of different cover hiding spots there are, if you like. You know, there's 3 here, 2 here, only 1 here, 2 here. You'll notice this one is a building icon compared to the other one. These are just basic covers. This one, however, could be a stone, I want to say a stone building. We're in a cemetery here, whereas these are just hedgerow woods. And I want to say that there's a random chance that you might find this cover or you might find the basic cover. I think that's it. Now, you look at the normal cover for these locations. This is +2. This is +2 base. The +1, like I say, is if you're attacked across the white side. This is only a +1, and this is a +2 with a +1 as well, which if it was attacked for that side. So... you've got to sort of weigh that up. We've only got 2 general initiative attempts here, so we're going to attempt to try and get 2 different units under cover. And when I say units and thing, I might mix up how you call these. I mean, that's a squad. What are assault teams classed as? Is that a unit? I don't know. It's a team. It's a team, Grant. And then the number in the middle there, where I sort of fan of cards there, is how many cards you're going to draw to see if you get cover. So there's 4 there, only 3 there, and 4 there. And what you do is you draw that many cards, and if you get the indicated, just says, it's just got the name on that one, it just says cover. If you get cover within the 4 cards, then you succeed, and the unit goes under cover. Basic cover is just a +1. The stone, I want to say the stone building, I think it's a +3 actually, but we'll see. So I think we should probably try, well, yeah, because all these are in +2. So I think the fact this is a squad, we should try and search for cover with this one. And then, because this one's got the chance of the stone building, I think we should search for the cover for that one as well. Who do we choose first? Well, it's up to us with this one, so let's just go for this first, right? So we've got 2 general initiative commands. Probably should have myself a dice for that, but well, maybe I'll get that in future. We've got 2. I think I'm not going to cut the video here anyway. If it was right in the middle of things, and I might forget right enough. So it is probably handy to have a dice for the future. Right. So we're going to search for cover. Right. Let's just double check is that a movement? Yeah, it is. It's seek cover, so not search for cover, seek cover. Right, so there we are there. This is one of the movement actions. It tells you up there, it's got in brackets, use the recipient experience for command draw modifier, right? For this one, use the recipient. It's the rally one that's different. Sorry, they're all automatic. Then going down here, use the originator experience for command draw modifier. So you've got to remember that, and then the combat ones are recipient as well. So yeah, so we're using recipient. So it's the one that you're doing it on would get the modifier, right? So attempt to seek cover is E here. It's one command to do it. Remember, we've got a general initiative here of 2. So we're going to use one of the 2. And then it's got the draw is cover, and it's got a number plus or minus. So the number is the number for the cards, which is, in this case, it's a 4. So it's here 4. However, the squad is a recipient, so we modify it by his experience level. They're wine, aren't they? The squads are wine. Yeah, they're wine, so there's no modifier to that. I've got these wee cards. I'm pretty sure these wee cards are still the same as well, aren't they? Let's just look at them. Hang on, that's spot on. Hang on, let's see. Yeah, command draw modifiers there. I think these will still be the same. I don't think they'll be different. So yeah, if you're green, you get a -1. If you're veteran, you get a +1. If you're wine, there's no effect. If the current activity is no contact, you get a +1. And then you've got volumes of fire there as well. These wee cards are really good, actually. This one will be getting used shortly. Although I'm just looking at the time here, we're at 54 minutes and it's quite late at night, actually. The time's moved on awful quick. Because I did want to play, and now I'm just going over everything, haven't I? Well, it helps myself, but I think I could have probably breezed through it a bit quicker than this if I hadn't started going down that road, but I have. So my guess is here we're going to get a +1 to that 4 then, isn't it? Yeah, I thought there was something wrong about that. Sorry, that's wrong. Oops, card's coming out of the sleeve. Can you see that all right? Does it look like you can? That's just when we're talking about command draw modifiers. That one. Yeah, so the current activity for that doesn't affect this. So yeah, just as well I kind of caught that because it didn't feel right me drawing more than what it said on the cover marker. So yeah, so it's got a plus. Well, it shows it here as right. Hang on, which one is it? Attempt to seek cover. It's got cover number, which we know is a 4, and then it's got in brackets plus or minus, right? And the plus or minus, if we go back up the top here, the plus or minus says the number of cards drawn is modified by +1 for veteran, -1 for green, based on the recipient experience for movement and combat actions, and the originator experience for rally actions. All command and control actions are automatic. They require no activation, action card draws, sorry. Okay, so it's not anything to do with no contact. It's just, are we green? No. Are we veteran? No. We're line. So there's no modifiers to this. So our attempt to seek cover is just a 4. Any good order unit, and again, it's got a 1 subscribe 1 there. Subscript, that's what I'm trying to say. 1 to say that certain lats will be able to do this. Pretty sure if we go down, well, we'll check just now, because this is a good order unit we're doing. On a card that has not reached its cover potential, which, like I said, there's 3 different covers there, and is not under a cover marker, so he's not. Draw action cards equal to the cover draw number on the unit's card and check for the text saying cover. If it is present, then the attempt succeeds. Place a unit under a new cover marker and mark it as exposed. If the attempt fails, do nothing. Okay. And we're just jumping down to the one about the lats, right? So it's going to check, because we're going to do it with an assault team as well. So just jumping down here to assault team to see that, is it capable of searching for cover, seeking cover. Attempt to seek cover. That's one of the things that it's allowed to do. Okay, so you'll probably see that a fire team could actually do that one as well. Yeah. Thing is, it couldn't have moved on to the card in the first place. Okay. Right, so the squad in the woods, line quality is going to search for cover. We get 4 card draws, and as long as the word covers is on it, we succeed. So I'm just going to draw a 4 off the top. Now, you have to always draw the amount of cards. You don't just draw them one at a time, and if you get the result, then that is it. So I'm going to draw, I've drawn 4 cards here. So 1, well, there we go, cover. Right, I don't even need to look at the rest, but I do need to draw them and discard them, okay? So we succeed there. We find basic cover, which is only a +1, but it's just that. So there we go. So he is undercover. He's still marked exposed. So he's added a +1 to his exposed at -2. I mean, the exposed only lasts for the turn. So, you know, it'll go away and then he's sitting underneath that cover marker. Quite nice. Now, the issue I've said already with cover is if you've got units that aren't in cover and units that are in cover, and if they don't have radios between them, they can't communicate. So you've got to watch for that as well. So, as in, if you're moving the second platoon HQ, now if he was to move forward into this card, it makes more sense moving him into the cover so that he then can communicate. There's also limits, not limits, there's not a stacking limits, but there's dangerous, I was going to say 7 steps, I don't think that's right. No, it's nowhere near 7 steps, Grant. It's 3 steps or something like that, isn't it? Any more than 3 steps, you get a negative, a -1 modifier if you're attacked. Something like that. We'll get to that. Right, so that's one of our general initiative, and our last general initiative is going to be on this guy, wasn't it? In the cemetery. Yeah, so we've got this. So now, yeah, I'm going to have to go on the mission. I'm going to have to go in the mission briefing booklet here as well. So I'm not looking at the rules. I don't think, or am I? Hang on. No, this is on a... Where is this? Alright, pause just now. Yeah, I've got this. It's charts and tables. I use this a lot as well. Unfortunately, there's not a new version of this out there yet for printing out. So this is my original version. It does tell you, it's telling you the limited action team limitations chart there, what they can do and what they can't. I don't want to use this if I really can, and there's all the actions that you can carry out. Well, I suppose that might be... Well, it is. We've just read that in the rules, haven't we? I think what it is I'm looking for in here is the cover. I'm looking for the cover things. That's urban. It's not that. I bet it's on the back here. Oh, I think you're looking in the wrong place, Grant. Right, hang on. No, it wasn't here, right enough. Although I'm going to go and have a look in the rulebook for this. This is it here. I think I pointed it to already. So urban cover probability table, and you'll see the wee icon there. And that's the same wee icon that we're looking at down here. Well, it's meant to be the same anyway. So what we're going to do is generate a random number here between 1 and 5. And for World War II, we're not considering Korea or Vietnam, obviously. If we draw a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to get a strong building result. If we get a 4 or 5, we're going to just get the basic cover. So, well, I just go with that rather than faff about and look it up. Urban cover. Well, I could probably search for it. Give me a second. Okay, I think this is it here. Page 37, C, urban cover. Consult the cover table in your mission book. Okay. When I say, in your mission book? Is it actually in the mission book? The briefing booklet? I looked there first, didn't I? Give me a second. Okay, I want to say that maybe that's something that's been upgraded a bit and it is in the mission instructions. Because remember, this is the 3rd edition rules, but we don't have the mission book to look at for that. I can only look at my mission book. So I'll go by what I just read, I think. I get the feeling it'll probably still be the same. You know, I don't think this is something that I'll have changed. It's not that it's a sort of... Unless they felt that there was more or less better than another. You can see that Korea has the option of white buildings and also Vietnam. Vietnam's only got one sort of random number, a strong building. Right, so we're going to... Well, no, actually, we're not going to do that, Grant. We're going to see if we get cover first. So let's do that. So again, we're using... It's in here. Now we've got one... There's only one cover. So if anybody else wants to find another... There's no other cover on this card. We're only getting to draw 3 cards. Assault teams are line, remember? So that is fine. That won't be adjusted. It's a 3-card draw. We're looking for the word cover, and we might then have the chance of finding that. However, that's a random number. So I'm going to draw 3 cards. And remember, this is our 2nd general initiative point. And we're looking for cover. Nope. Nope. Oops, you're making a mess, Grant. And the last one, we fail. Yeah. So not so good. There is another order called, is it exhort or it's exhort, isn't it? So if we had one more general initiative point here, sorry, I'm just tidying things up. I like things to be tidy. We could use that one command to draw one more card to see if then we succeed. But we've not. We only had 2 general initiative cards. So unfortunately, we've not found cover here. So what are we at? An hour and 4 minutes. Thing is, once we go into the next phase, we're probably going to find German units, and things are going to get but it's going to take longer than I think I might need to cut it here. So we've done with our... That's the general initiative. Let me jump back to here. The sequence of play. So that was our general initiative. They cannot be saved. We've used both of them. So what are we on now? Next step is, if we're on defensive mission, enemy activity phase, oh, sorry, no. This is offensive mission, sorry. Or combat patrols. This is the enemy activity phase. So enemy higher HQ event would start on turn 2. We're not on turn 2 yet. And then enemy activity check segment. And we're going to have to go through that. So what? Enemies firing at cards without valid targets shifts ceasefire. Check every enemy unit on the map for activity. So there's none of that. So we're then going to move on to that phase. Yeah, because there's no any enemies on the map, so we can skip by that phase. That's right. Mutual capture and retreat phase. We're not going to capture. We're not retreating. Combat and vehicle movement phase, there's none of that. So, sorry, I'm not showing you. There's combat and vehicle movement phase. Then we're down to the mutual combat phase. Fire mission update segment, potential contact. This is the one, yeah, 3.7.2. So our fire missions will be updated. There's none of that happening. Now we're at potential contact evaluation segment. For each card with a PC marker and a friendly unit, draw the number of action cards indicated on the potential contact draws chart based on the PC marker and the current activity level. But I'm going to have to leave it for the night now because it's kind of late, and this is going to trigger quite a few things. So what is going to happen though is we're going to see if there's a contact on each one of these cards, because we've got a friendly unit on each one of these cards. We're going to randomly choose which one first, and then we will adjust the contact level. If something appears, then we'll randomly choose between the other three, then we'll adjust the contact level, and then right until we've went through all 4 of them. So there is a chance that they could spawn 4 different enemies firing at all our 4 units. So, and only one of them managed to get uncover, and remember they're all exposed. Yeah, it could be trouble. I get the feeling that pushing on to 4 cards is too much, because we've not got that much to do in this mission. I don't think you need to like rush it too much. We've only got 3 rows to get through, and we only need to clear these 2 rows, and then take out our mission objectives. So it is plenty of time, to be honest. Anyway, okay, that got things started. That was good. I suppose, and part of me is wishing that I hadn't sort of delved too much into trying to talk about all the things that can happen. But, you know, I have. So, again, it's like trying to keep myself right as well. I'm going to have to look up these things. And, yeah, it feels... I don't feel like I've done anything wrong there. That's maybe a dodgy statement to make, Grant. No, I don't think so. But we'll see. I'll watch it back before I send it out there to you, and then maybe you will see some comments saying that I've done this wrong and I've done that wrong. Anyway, it's good to get started. Yeah, and yeah, I would have loved to have waited, but then I would have been waiting, and Conflict of Heroes coming to the way it. You know what? It's not finished. I'm going to go back to that, because I'm like 1 mission into the campaign. I will go back to it. Okay, I know I've got so, and I was going on a bit much about it, because if you think about it, I know that's, if you've not watched any of that, that's irrelevant here. But I did want to sort of say, although I can't go back and record another bit of that, you know, I did want to say that the only issues are actually with making low risk moves. I don't think you need to interfere with anything else apart from when it becomes a low risk move. I might be wrong. There might be certain cases when you do, but I think that's only. I get the feeling that's the only time you're going to have trouble, and you're going to have to make a decision for yourself. So I mean, within that, is that such a hardship, really? I mean, it's not really, is it? I maybe giving it more a hard time than it needs. I guess I'm just not one that wants an AI that then says, right, what do you want to do here? Because I want the AI to tell me what it wants to do. So, yeah. And don't think you'll get any of that in this game. Pretty sure it'll do this or it'll do that. There won't be, there's lots of random number generators, and that's all based on the cards as well. The cards, the numbers down the bottom there are basically a D2 to a D12, you know. So you draw that card. If I rolled a D9 there, I would get a 4 result. If I rolled a D4, I would have got a 2 result. That's how all these work. It's great. It's all on the one card. It's good. Very, very well done. Yeah, and I don't think okay, there's random things that will happen, like I've just said, a random number generator, but it won't leave you a case of do you want to go here or do you want to go there? Because if there is a here or there, you'll draw a card and it'll say it's going here. So I'd kind of like that better. That's the thing. Okay, right, I'll get away for now and I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with more of that, because I've only just got started. We've not seen the next steps. Like, it's really good. Okay, right, cheers.